Yes, sir. We are here for the Sunday Betting Pros NFL live stream. You know me, know the voice, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And yes, I am solo today. I just want to go ahead and put my heart out there to my co-host, Matt Perrault. He is not able to join us today. He's actually in the ER and having some health things, but I talked to him this morning. He's in good spirits. He just wants to figure out what's wrong, but he is really, really sad that he's not going to be able to make it today. And I'm just happy to be able to hold it down for him and keep the stream going, answer some questions into the chat. Shout out to the chat. Got a whole bunch of people in here. Ryan Smith saying, let's grab this bag this weekend, fellas and ladies. Yes, very much so. Appreciate everybody in the chat. But yeah, just go ahead and just say some nice things to Matt, cheer him up. But Matt still gave us some great plays for today, and I like them, and I can't wait to give them out to you as well. But I thought, hey, how can I show love to Matt, and how can I also show myself? Because this is my first time doing the stream solo for you guys. So how can I also show myself to you all? So I thought of the best way possible. I'm going to put in a parlay for him. So we have the Do It for Matt parlay this week. We're taking Matt's Patriots on the money line against the Titans. And I like the under in that game as well, under 38. And also Hunter Henry. It's been a slow year for the touchdowns. He gets back on top today. Hunter Henry gets into the end zone. That pays plus 1550. I will admit to you, though, I really, really did want to put Pat's defense in that parlay, but no book would let me merge the defense and the money line. I don't know why. They wouldn't let me merge it. So here we are, Patriots money line, Pats Titans under 38, and the Hunter Henry anytime touchdown. And we're just going to go ahead and kick off our NFL weekend there. The New England Patriots are on the road traveling to the Tennessee Titans. Titans laying 38.5 is the total. I mean, good luck to you if you want to back this Titans team laying points. I mean, they very well could cover this game, but that's just not a spot I want to back the Titans. And as somebody who was a Titans apologist early on in the season, no, there's no way you could take this team. Did you see what this team did last week? Have you seen them all season? Their special teams is horrible. They give up punt blocks. They give up defensive special teams touchdowns all the time. You look at home favorites off a loss this season, and they are 8-15 against the spread this season. Home favorites off a loss, which the Titans are coming off of that loss against the Detroit Lions here. And with that loss to the Detroit Lions last week, we have the biting kneecaps trend. I mean, this is a trend me and some of my fellows got put onto, and I think it's really, really good because Dan Campbell teams, this Lions team, after teams play them, they're not good. Teams the week after playing the Lions this season are 0-6 straight up, 0-6 ATS. And it's crazy to think about that. And you're like, oh, well, that's just this season. They're due. They're going to get a win. Well, if you look over the past 3 seasons, teams after playing the Lions are actually 14-25 ATS. It's not good. Like this Lions team, you look at the injury report after teams playing them, there's like a whole bunch of names, like at least 4 or 5 extra names that are probably on the injury report after playing the Lions. They're just a really, really physical football team, and it hasn't boded well for teams the week after playing them. And this week is the Titans. So I love fading the Titans in this spot. This is the pick that Matt likes. He added this on his card. He got the hook as well. Pats plus 3.5. I still like it at 3. I think you still should play it at 3. L'Jarius Sneed is out. T'Vondre Sweat is questionable. Producer Sal, I don't know if we can check and see if T'Vondre Sweat got ruled in or out yet, but another defensive line piece for the Titans that's banged up going into this game. Like, I think that this is a very, very good spot for the Pats. And Jacoby Brissett has been able to win games. Like, he has been able to win a couple of games. I know he looks horrible. I admit you're either putting a bet on Mason Rudolph or you're putting a bet in on Jacoby Brissett. But what I'm saying is that I am not laying points with Mason Rudolph. Absolutely not. I think the Pats defense is live to get into the end zone here. Special teams has been horrible for the Titans, as I said at the top of the show. And now you have a Pats team who was built off special teams so many years with Bill Belichick, and you got this Bill Belichick coaching tree. Oh, and Drake May is back. That's even more reason to love the Pats here. So, yeah, I'm all over the Pats here. I think this is a really good play. Give me all of the Pats. I think they're going to have a great game today. I will take Pats plus 3.5. Pats on the money line. Matt likes the Pats too. And, yeah, I'm good with that. Let's go on to game number 2. we have the Raiders going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals laying 7.5 here. Total set at 45.5. So, a couple of interesting things. This is a game I really didn't have a good feel on it, and but you got the Bengals looking ahead to Thursday night football against the Ravens at that. So pretty much a good look ahead spot. You kind of want to fade teams laying points looking ahead Thursday night football. Bounce back game off a loss for them though in that game against the Eagles, and they didn't even have a lot of turnovers in that game. They just legitly got outplayed by the Eagles there. So a bounce back game there, and then you have the Raiders traveling across time zones for this one. I really, really, really don't trust this Bengals team. Like I really just think this Bengals team is very, very questionable this year. It just looks like something's off, and then you have Joe Burrow, who is clearly looking ahead to the rest of the season. And they're sitting there trying to figure out how many games do they have to win to be able to just get into the playoffs. Like, I really don't think this Bengals team is concerned about destroying the Raiders as much as they are trying to make sure that, hey, we play clean football. Let's get desperate and let's just get out of here with the win before we find ourselves out of playoff contention. So I really, really, really don't want any parts of the Bengals for the full game. But the first half, I think the first half is absolutely live. You have Cincinnati first half laying 4.5 here. The Raiders this season in the first half, they are 1-6-1 ATS. Bengals in the first half, 5-2-1 ATS. Like I said, the Raiders traveling across time zones here. Maybe a little bit of a slower start. This is an early tip off and 1 p.m. on the East Coast. So I think it's a very, very good look here to just go ahead and back the Cincinnati Bengals, who are, again, coming off of that game against the Eagles. I think that they're going to come out here really, really locked in and focused. It's at the end of the game that I'm concerned where the mistakes come in. So I really do like Cincy laying 4.5 in the first half here. I think that is the play that I would have in this game. All right. Let's see. Before we get to the next game, though, got to talk to you about nothing else than the prop bet cheat sheet. I enjoy using it. I use it on my spare time. I use it all the time. I actually already have a play up loaded from the prop bet cheat sheet for another bet because, this is a betting pros live stream. I'm going to be giving out a whole bunch of bets the whole time. And so here is Jordan Love. Prop bet cheat sheet loves Jordan Love today, and I love too. Yeah, you see what I did there? Passing yards over 21.5, -110 that way. You can get consensus odds. So shop around, make sure you get as good as odds as possible. I'm over here. They have 21.5, 221.5. They're projected for him to go to 251.5. By the way, you cash a couple plays on a ladder if he gets to 251.5. 66% cover probability. It's a 5-star bet rating. And if you look in a glass, just look at it for what it is. Jordan Love is 2-4 to his over under in terms of passing yards this season. Now, if you're sharp like me and you use the prop bet cheat sheet and the prop bet analyzer on the Betting Pros app, then you know that Jordan Love has actually been over this exact number in 4 of his 6 games. And then the one of those games that he missed, he had 220 on the dot. So I'm all over Jordan Love. I think that, yes, it is a little bit of a murky day in Green Bay today, but I think that actually boats more for the Packers than it does for a dome team in the Lions. I think this Packers team rushed Jordan Love back out here being healthy because they know they have a great opportunity against the Lions this week. So I think Jordan Love is going to have a great week this week. I'm taking Jordan Love over passing yards. I agree with the prop bet cheat sheet. You should go make sure you get that Betting Pros app and get that prop bet cheat sheet as well. So make sure you go ahead and lock in and get the Betting Pros app with that prop bet cheat sheet. All right. Let's see here. Rolling on next game on the slate. We're still in the 1 p.m. East Coast hour. The Denver Broncos on the road going to play the Ravens. Ravens laying 9 here at home. A 240. I'm sorry, not 246. 46.5 is the total. And you have a Ravens team that, just like the Bengals, looking ahead to Thursday night football, also looking to bounce back in this spot. But I just think this is way too many points. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I think this is way too many points. This Broncos team is clicking. They look really, really good here. Matt agrees with me. I agree. We both made this one of our plays for the week. We love the Denver Broncos catching all these points, and it's because the Ravens' pass defense is horrible, like really, really, really bad. And so you're sitting here and you're looking at a pass defense that is 25th in DVOA in terms of pass DVOA in the Baltimore Ravens. And then you also have them, and what they're looking at, they're 28th in pass yards per game. They are 27th in, no, I'm sorry, 30th in receiving yards per game. Like this is just ridiculous here. They haven't been good. And I know they have Marlon Humphrey and he's been in and out of the lineup, but even when he's been in there, this Ravens team hasn't been able to defend anything through the air. And what have we seen on the road this season from the Broncos? That Sean Payton makes it really, really easy on Bo Nix. I am not a Bo Nix truther. I think he's average at best. But what Sean Payton has done is Sean Payton has hitched his horse to the Bo Nix wagon and said, hey, I'm going to pull this guy along and he's going to be solid for me and they're going to win games. And that's why they're 5-3 right now. And they got a win on the road against the Jets, where, that looks not as good as it did at the time. And they got a win on the road against the Bucks, who the Bucks are still a good team. They also go on the road and beat the Saints. Like, I think that they're doing all right. And so, yeah, is the Ravens probably going to win this game? I think so. Sprinkle on the money line just in case. But I think so. I think the Ravens have a good chance to win this game. But I definitely think that this is in between one possession or even a chance for Bo Nix to get this through the back door, because this Ravens secondary is so bad. So yeah, I love the Denver Broncos catching 9 here. I think this is a really, really good spot. I also have a couple props in this game. If we go and look at Courtland Sutton, I am heavy on Courtland Sutton this week. I think Courtland Sutton's going to have a great game because we talk about that horrible passing defense for the Baltimore Ravens. And you also look at they've been really, really bad against wide receivers. The fact that Courtland Sutton is over in this 4 of the last 6 games, they've given up really, really big games to number 1 wide receivers. Rashee Rice had a really big game. Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase had really big games. And the fact is that Courtland Sutton gets to duck Marlon Humphrey. I know Marlon Humphrey is a good corner. However, Marlon Humphrey only lines up on the left side of the field 1% of his snaps this season, where you have Courtland Sutton, who lines up on that side of the field 55% of the time. So 55% of the time, he's not seeing Marlon Humphrey, and he gets to line up against Brandon Stevens, who's locked down that side of the field, and he's been average at best. Stevens giving up 52.4 yards per game in coverage this season. I think that Courtland Sutton has now finally gotten Bo Nix to show him and teach him that NFL wide receivers are really, really good. You just got to get the ball over to me, and I'm going to catch it and bring it in and make a play. So I'm all over Courtland Sutton. He had 100 yards last week. I mean, I could tell you the ladder. I got the line at 48.5. You can carry that ladder to 100 yards. What he did last week, plus 750. Plus 750. He's plus 250 to score a touchdown. I think he can get in the end zone this week. 2 touchdowns is 24-1. Just saying. I think that the targets all go to Courtland Sutton now, and Courtland Sutton is going to be able to dominate. So, yeah, I like Courtland Sutton. I think he's going to have a really, really big game in this game. All right. Let's see here what we got here left on. Also, Ravens 7-1 to the over this season because that pass defense is so bad. 7-1 to the over. I love, so yeah, over 46.5. They've been really, really bad this season. I think the Broncos are in this game. Let's go to the Chargers on the road, going to play the Cleveland Browns. Browns laying 1.5. 42.5 is the total. We have a Browns team who had their moment last week. A lot of us were on it. Jameis Winston and by the way, I mean, this is a national treasure here. Jameis Winston gave us a great post-game interview quoting Eminem. I mean, then he goes this week and he goes to a drive-in restaurant place and they put the food out on his tray on the car door, and he's in, like, Jameis Winston, amazing man. Love to support him. I just can't support him in this game because this Chargers defense is nasty. Like Jim Harbaugh, I'm sorry, Jim Harbaugh has this Chargers defense rolling. And so looking at the Chargers here, they've given up, their total this season is 1-11. So they're 11-1 to the under this season. They've held their opponents under their first half team total in every single game this season. If you have had a first half line against the Chargers, you have not hit it. They have held them under it every single game this season. You look at the Browns this season, they're 2-6 to their team total in the first half this season. So if you're seeing 1+1 = 2, we're fading the Browns in the scoring today because of this Chargers defense is so good. And you can even fill it out to the full game. In the full game, opponents for the Chargers are 2-5 to their team total this season. The Browns are 1-7 to their team total this season. I understand Jameis Winston is a far better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. Yes, he is. But if you watch that game, and if you know there were moments where you saw Jameis throw the ball in the dirt or miss a wide receiver, and you're like, oh, Jameis, like you were very, very nervous at different parts in that first half, and then Jameis really turned it on in that second half of that game, and that's where all the yards started to come through. He had that big pass play to Cedric Tillman, and that helped at the end of the game. Like those were the moments you like, but there were definitely moments that you did not like Jameis Winston in that game. So the Browns team total is currently sitting at 20.5. The Chargers haven't given up 3 touchdowns all year. So I think this is way too high. And I think you're riding on the Jameis Winston from last week. And I get it. I was on him last week too. But you got to understand, sometimes you just got to get off the horse. You got to get off the horse here. And so shout out to Matt, because Matt is also fading Jameis Winston in this game. He has Jameis Winston under 244.5 passing yards. I saw J Dow Bets in the chat. He said Winston to throw an interception is a look. I agree. And I also see somebody saying Chargers laying 1.5 here. I really don't want to mess up your name, but Chargers laying 1.5. That is what I'm on. I like the Chargers laying 1.5 here. I think this is the game after the game. You always have that game where the backup comes in after the starter goes down. They get a win. They look great. The team rallies. It's all of that. And now it's the game after the game. And then you realize why that person is a backup quarterback and they have a horrible game. So I'm on the Chargers heavy in this game. I like the Chargers today. I do like Jameis Winston, like Matt said, under 244.5 passing yards. I do like the Browns to go under their team total of 20.5, but I am definitely getting a heavy dose of the Chargers and fading the Browns this week. All right. Make sure that you get that Betting Pros app as well. So you can go in there and you'll see me logging these picks. You can give me a follow. We have a great search menu at the top where you can just search Terrell, Terrell, and you'll find my page and you can see, hey, what is he playing today? What is he like? You can find my plays from Fast Break Bets up there as well. And so you can do all of that on the Betting Pros app. Make sure you get that app wherever you get your apps in the App Store. Make sure you sync your sports bets and use the prop bet cheat sheet and the prop bet analyzer that come onto that app. So make sure you log in and go create an account at the Betting Pros app. And you can also get a free trial for Betting Pros Premium as well. Get a whole bunch of cool extra stuff added. So make sure you do that. Get that free trial. Download the Betting Pros app wherever you get your apps in the App Store. Next game up. Divisional game. Miami Dolphins on the road going to play the Buffalo Bills. Bills laying 6. 49 is the total. The Bills are a heavy public team this week. Very, very public. A lot of people are betting the Bills. And I understand because Josh Allen owns the Miami Dolphins. Like, what else are we talking about here? I actually starting to think Miami just isn't that good overall. But looky here, the Miami Dolphins are 0-8 ATS in the last 8 games as underdogs. 0-8 ATS. They have not covered a line in their last 8 as underdogs. So basically saying when the books think that the Dolphins are out of the game, they are literally out of the game. And so you have Josh Allen, who owns the Dolphins. He's 11-2 straight up against the Dolphins. Tua, I think, is like some 1-8 straight up against the Buffalo Bills here. But I really just think this is going to come down to the trenches. Whereas Miami's offensive line is really not that good. I don't think they're that good at all. They're giving up 2.74 sacks per game. That's 24th in the NFL. I think that if you have a line that this Buffalo Bills pass rush can take advantage of, they 100% will. And then along the defensive line, I think they're going to struggle getting to Josh Allen, who has a really, really good offensive line. That Bills offensive line is 7th in pass block run rate. Like, I think that they're going to have an issue getting pressure to him. Josh Allen's going to have time in the pocket. He's just going to pick this team apart. Like, this is a game Josh Allen feels comfortable in. So, yeah, I think they're going to run the score up on them. So, give me the Buffalo Bills here, laying 6. But I hate to back the public. I really do. But the public's been kind of like, if you look, the public's been doing pretty good this season. So, yeah, I like the Bills here. Like, I can't I can't find any reason to take the Dolphins. I love for somebody to tell me in the chat if they're on the Dolphins today and why, and just make sure that I'm just not having tunnel vision here. But I just think the Bills are stone cold here. I think they're going to dominate. I do have a prop I like in this game though. I have Devon Achane. It is a Miami Dolphins prop as well. Devon Achane over 34 and a half receiving yards. I think this has gone up a little bit, actually, maybe 35 and a half or 36 and a half. I still like it here. And I think we're climbing the ladder here because Devon Achane, one, when Tua's in the lineup, he gets targets. Numbers don't look good overall. 4 of his last 5 games, he's actually gone under this number. But if you look again, look deeper, like I said, you'll see that he is 3-3 when Tua is in the lineup, including last week. The Bills have given up this line to six of their 8 games. They have given up this line to running backs this season. They've been horrible. They're actually giving up 54.8 receiving yards per game to the running back position. It's just a part of the field that they're conceding and they're saying, all right, we'll give you the check downs low. But Devon Achane is so good that if you give him a check down low, he's able to make a man miss and have a huge game. Like, he's so explosive. So looking at earlier this season, he had 69 yards earlier this season against the Bills. I think that he's going to have another good game. So I like going over Devon Achane. And let's climb the ladder here because I got 50 plus at plus 180. I got 60 plus at plus 325. And I got 70 plus at plus 525. I think that Devon Achane can have a great game. And actually, you can run on this team as well. Like, that's one thing people aren't paying attention about the Bills. You can run on them as well. So if you want to do a combo Achane receiving and rushing and just say that he just has this great big game, or you want to put him in DFS, I think Achane is a great play today. So I'm on Devon Achane over 34 and a half receiving. I think that's a great play. All right, 38 and a half. Appreciated that dude NYC. That's my guy. Over 38 and a half is where the line is at now. I still like it now because I'm telling you to climb the ladder. So go ahead and get in. I think that's a really good play here. Still on the Bills, though. Still think the Bills get it done in this game. All right. Let's see. Next game on the slate. Let's go to Carolina, where the Carolina Panthers are playing the New Orleans Saints in a divisional game. Saints laying 7, 43 and a half, and this is the total. Good luck. Good luck if you want to place a bet on the Panthers. Like, good luck. This team is bad, man. And I mean, to start this handicap, I just have to take you to a tweet that I saw. What was it, late last night? This is really, like, I thought that Saints were already good. Like, I already like laying the number with the Saints, but I love it so much more now. So Diana Rossini tweeted out last night, and she said the Panthers, and I quote, "The Panthers are getting multiple calls from teams interested in trading for former number 1 overall pick Bryce Young. At this time, Carolina is not considering moving him. The Panthers were encouraged by his improvements and overall commitment to the team and his return to the field last week." What was the score of last week's game? I'm sorry, let me go back. What was the final score of last week's game? Oh, man, it's comical at this point. 28-14. Okay, so they got 14 points. I guess 14 points is an improvement for Bryce in this team. Free Bryce Young, man. Free Bryce Young. I just don't understand why they're holding on to him. It's not working for you. Like, you don't have an offensive line. You're not giving him the things to protect him. You just trade away Deontay Johnson. Adam Thielen is still banged up. You're over here trusting Xavier Leggett and Jalen Coker as your main wide receivers this week. Like, just let him go. Let him go. Let him move on and try to be better somewhere else. Imagine if Bryce Young was the quarterback of the Dolphins during that time Tua was out. Like, what might have happened if he was throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? Like, oh, man, that is hilarious to me that teams are actually inquiring about Bryce Young, and the Panthers are the one that are saying no. And yes, shout out to Jai Bark, who mentioned, and I forgot to mention, Bryce Young got a garbage touchdown at the end of the game. Guys, what are we doing here? The Panthers are 1-7 ATS this season. We cannot take Bryce Young. We cannot. First of all, I want you to watch how Bryce Young tanks this game, because he's going to show you, oh, that you thought you saw improvements from me. All right, I'll show you improvements. Bryce Young is totally tanking this game, and he's totally going to say, all right, I do not want to be on this team anymore, and I can go somewhere else and actually prove that I might be a good quarterback, but they don't want to let me go. Now I'm going to give you no choice to let me go. Like, I am all over the Saints here. I'm just completely going to fade the Panthers. The Panthers also looking ahead to going overseas to Germany. So yeah, I can't believe it. Yes, the Giants are one of the teams that are probably inquiring on Bryce Young, and I will admit, I 100% still think Daniel Jones is one of the worst starting quarterbacks ever. Like, I hate Daniel Jones. I am a Giants fan. I hate Daniel Jones. I would much rather take Bryce Young, and I would have definitely made the trade and just seen what. Hey, can Bryce Young be good? Like, can Bryce Young be good for us? Because our offensive line is actually pretty all right this season. The Panthers, not so much. I'm fading the Panthers. Give me the Saints. Lay 7 here. I think they're going to dominate. Bryce Young's probably going to throw an interception. Bryce Young probably is going to throw 2 interceptions. However, enough of talking about that. Let's talk about the prop that I love in this game, and it's going to be Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill over 25 and a half rushing yards. So this Panthers defense is really, really bad against the run. How bad are they against the run? Really, real? Well, I will tell you, they are actually second worst in the league this year. They're giving up 128.5 rushing yards per game. They are the first giving up touchdowns to the rushing touchdowns per game. Like, I am 100% fading this team. And the reason that I have Taysom Hill is because, one, yeah, I think Alvin Kamara can have a pretty good day, but like, come on, you guys aren't coming here to hear me talk about Alvin Kamara, a star player, and how I like their rushing prop, who I do like his rushing prop. But let's talk about Taysom Hill, because Kendre Miller is out for this game. Jamal Williams is out for this game. Taysom Hill is the backup running back. They are going to go to Taysom Hill. I'm sorry. They're going to go to Taysom Hill plenty of times in this game. And so, as the backup running back, I think he's going to have a really good game. In fact, he's gone over this game in the first game this year where he got 35 rushing yards. I think he's going to get more attempts, more opportunities to create plays. And so, yeah, I like Taysom Hill coming in as the backup running back against this defense that is horrible, giving up 5 yards per rush. Yes, 100%. I love fading the Panthers here. Second worst rush defense. Taysom Hill, I do like his over 25 and a half. And I do think that Taysom Hill can get into the end zone. I am hinting at a little touchdown parlay that I have going on that I'll share at the end of the show. Make sure you stick around for that. But I do. It's 69-1, by the way, guys. So I'm definitely dropping that. But Taysom Hill, just so you know, one leg of the touchdown parlay for sure. All right. Yeah, that's it. Fade the Panthers. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, let's go ahead and make sure we talk to you about the Betting Pros NFL contest too. Want to go ahead and make sure everybody's getting into that Betting Pros NFL contest here through the Betting Pros app. I'm telling you guys, this is very important. If you're not getting into the Betting Pros app, you have to. Like, this is literally where you can get everything. But you can join our NFL podcast group, and by joining the group in the communities tab, or you can just go www.bettingpros.com/NFL contest, and you can get in there by joining our NFL podcast group, sync your picks so that we know what you're on. Hey, everybody drop your picks in the chat too, but make sure you sync them in the app and get a chance to win weekly and monthly prizes. So make sure you go ahead and join the conversation today at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. That is bettingpros.com/NFL contest. All right. Make sure you go get some prizes too, guys. Like, come on, those are free prizes. All you have to do is do what you're normally doing. Like, you get to do what you normally do, and you get free stuff for doing it. Why would we not do that? It's amazing. So, all right, there we go. Next game up on the docket. Let's see here. Where do we want to take it to next? Let's go to Dallas Cowboys on the road, going to play the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons laying 3 here. 52 is the total. All right. Well, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not taking the Cowboys. Maybe somebody else has some type of allegiance to they don't mind taking the Cowboys, but I'm not taking the Cowboys. By the way, I think the Cowboys are looking ahead to Philly next week, which is a big game in the division that really, really matters. Also, I think the Dallas Cowboys are not a good football team. Like I just do not think that they're a good football team at all. I actually they can't stop the run. I think this is a good Bijan Robinson game where Bijan Robinson is just going to come out here. Even Tyler Algier, like I really do like Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier today, especially because Tyler Algier is really good in that zone running scheme, and I think that really messes with the Cowboys. And the fact that the Falcons love how good he is in the zone running scheme, that he's able to get some really really good matchups. But you're looking at this Cowboys team who's giving up 154.5 rushing yards per game. That's 31st in the NFL. Like this isn't good. This isn't good. They're not able to create turnovers. They're not able to get pressure with Micah Parsons and everybody all banged up. I mean, I understand the Falcons can't get pressure, but neither can the Cowboys. And at that point, when you're looking at this total at 52 and neither team can get to the quarterback, they're going to have all day to throw. And both of these quarterbacks can do that if you give them time. So, yeah, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a game. And unfortunately, I think Dak Prescott is going to have a game. You know who I know who for a fact is going to have a game? CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he has a game every time. It doesn't matter. The fact that CeeDee Lamb is carrying Dak Prescott to this point is actually something that should be studied. But yeah, take CeeDee Lamb, longest completion props. I think he's hit that in every single game, by the way. Take his over on yards props. Like I think CeeDee Lamb is going to have a good day. I think Kirk Cousins is going to get the ball to his playmakers, including Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan Robinson has a good game. I can't take the Cowboys here, man. I can't personally. Somebody else can do it, but it's not going to be me. I like the Falcons laying 3, but I love the total over. It's skyrocketed. I think it opened up at 49 and it's up to 52 now. I still think it goes over because I don't think either one of these two teams can get to the quarterback at all. Cowboys are 19th in sacks per game. The Falcons are 32nd. 32nd in sacks per game. Like there's no, the Falcons really can't get to the quarterback. I think that we're going to see points. So give me the over in this game. I think that's the better play. I understand it's one of the highest totals, if not the highest total on the slate, but I don't trust either one of these two teams. And I think Bijan Robinson gets into the end zone. I think this could be the crazy Bijan Robinson have like 125 rushing and receiving and 2 touchdowns types of game. Yeah, and the Ezekiel Elliott, shut up. The Ezekiel Elliott thing is really freaking weird. Why Ezekiel Elliott? Like, why is Ezekiel Elliott getting? He was late to meetings all week, and I think he's been late to meetings the whole season for them. But the final straw was this meeting on Friday that he was late to, and they just said, "You know what? Stay home. Like, stay home. This team is a dumpster fire. I don't want anything to do with the Cowboys." All right, let's talk about let's keep it in the division because the Washington Commanders, last game of the 1 p.m. slate as well. Washington Commanders are on the road going to play the New York Giants. My New York Giants are catching 4 at home. 44.5 is total. I understand the Commanders are an extremely public team this week. I understand why everybody is playing it with the Commanders. Let me give you a reason why you probably might consider being contrarian. If I can't talk you over to the Giants, then I completely understand. But the Giants used to not lose to the Commanders. Like in our worst state, the Giants used to not lose to the Commanders. If Daniel Jones has any good thing about him, it's his games against the Commanders. However, it took for Brian Dable, who I think is a bad coach, and I think the Giants need to move on from him as well. However, they are not. He went into the game knowing his kicker was injured and did not bring up a practice squad kicker and elevate them to the roster. Instead, he elevated some 8th, 9th linebacker that didn't even see the field. And our kicker went down in the beginning of the game, and they went an entire game without a kicker. And then guess what? The Commanders got the win without scoring a touchdown by using their kicker. This is a textbook revenge spot. I do think that the Commanders defense can be exploited. I think they can be exploited. Our offensive line hasn't been horrible, but no Andrew Thomas really, really makes this tough on the Giants moving the ball. But at the end of the day, I think Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson absolutely can get open against this Commanders team. I think they're going to be able to have a good week. Matt loves the under 44.5 here. I do like it too. That's one of Matt's plays, under 44.5 in the Giants and the Commanders game. And it's probably because of the fact of the Giants defense is really good. The Giants lead the league in sacks. I'm not just saying that because I have a preseason bet on Giants 50-1 to lead the league in sacks, but they do lead the league in sacks. And it's going to be really, really hard on Jalen Daniel, who is banged up. Like, we have to remember that rib injury just didn't go away in another week. It might have gotten better, but you don't get healthier playing football. Like, that's not how football works. And so I think Jayden Daniels is still banged up a little bit. And if the Giants are able to break through that Commanders offensive line and get to the quarterback, it's going to be a long day for Jayden Daniels. And then Daniel Jones just sucks, guys. So I don't trust the Giants to put up points. I'm sorry. So yeah, under is the play. I think that because the under is the play, this could be a field goal game. Giants might get the win. They are, historically good against the Commanders slash football team slash other team names. So give me the Giants +4 here. I hate it. It's ugly, but come on, the Commanders are a betting public favorite. No way. No way. All right, going on to the 4 p.m. window, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles laying 7.5 here. 46 is the total. Oh, me and Matt are all over this game. Matt has a bunch of plays in this game. I have plays in this game. Unfortunately, you probably got to lay the 7.5 with the Eagles. Come on, like, have you seen this Jags team? Like, they've been really, really bad. Like, they've been really, really bad. They're horrible against the pass. The defense is terrible. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're at or where you're lined up on the field. You probably have a good matchup against this Jags team. They're horrible to wide receivers. They're horrible in the passing game to the running back. And that bodes well for AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley. I think they all can have really, really good days here. This just feels like the game where a team that's just not good goes into Philadelphia, has to hear it from the home crowd, and the Eagles just kind of roll here. So, yeah, I do like Eagles laying 7.5. Now, the concerns for the Eagles, because I will say, I think the Eagles are overrated. I'm not just saying as a Giants fan, but that defense does give me questions for concern. They're not as good as advertised. I think you can throw the ball on them and you can attack them. So if Goldilocks here is able to get some offense going, I think he can keep the Jags in the game. So Matt took that and said, all right, we're going to put the Eagles into a teaser. He teased the Eagles down to 1.5, and he went back to that Bills game and he took the Bills at a pick to be able to get it done. So make sure you tap into the Bills pick and Eagles -1.5. He does think the Eagles will win the game. I think the Eagles will win the game as well. Matt is also on AJ Brown over 81.5 receiving yards in this game. And I mean, there's a lot of question marks here in life, but AJ Brown is a really, really good receiver. And when you give him a plus matchup like you're giving him against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he takes advantage. I agree with Matt. I think this was a very good look. If you look at the Jags, they are top 5 worst yards allowed to the wide receiver position, giving up 177.1 yards per game to the wide receiver position. I think this is a really, really good prop. Take the over 81.5 for AJ Brown. You can also go over to my props because I took that. I also took the fact of they're really, really bad in the receiving game to the running back as well. They are giving up 50 yards per game to the running back position. So Saquon Barkley should have a good day. And I just wrapped that all into one. And I said, hey, let's just take Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts over 210.5 passing yards. I think it's up to 214, 215 now, something like that. But I still like it here. The Jags have given up this line every single game this season to a quarterback that was not quarterback to a team that was not quarterbacked by Deshaun Watson. Every single game. Every single game, they have given up this line to every single quarterback that started and finished the game that's not named Deshaun Watson. Man, how bad was Deshaun Watson? How bad? Oh my gosh. Like, oh, okay. So Jalen Hurts, yeah, he's been inconsistent, but this is a good matchup. And when you give Jalen Hurts a good matchup, he normally takes advantage. So I like Jalen Hurts to go over his passing yards here, over 215.5. I think that's where it's at now. I still think that line is really good. I think you can ladder him up as well because Jalen Hurts can get to 250 pretty easily on this Jags team. I think so. So yeah, go ahead. There you go. Jalen Hurts. I hate backing Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts has one hater, is me, but this is a good matchup. So I'll go ahead and give him out for today. And guess what? If he's wrong, then I get to give Jalen Hurts a lot of crap. And I like doing that as well. So why not? All right. Let's see. Next game up, let's go to the Detroit Lions on the road going to play the Green Bay Packers. I teased this game earlier. Packers catching 2.5 here. 47.5 is total. This is one of the two, I think. Maybe it produces Sal. Can you double check that? Is it two or three? But Jared Goff is not going outside many times this season. Not at all. He's in a dome for majority of the season. That's why people love the outlook for the Lions. Well, here's one of the games. He's going outside. It's supposed to be rainy weather in Green Bay today. Let's see here. Packers looking ahead to the bye week. You have teams going into the bye week. Oh, I did miss a game. Thanks, Thomas. I'm going to go back and cover that one. Packers are looking ahead to the bye week. Teams going into the bye week against a divisional opponent are 67, 41, and 2 ATS since 2015. Another good little stat here for the Packers. And I just think that the Packers showed me that in the fact that they're rolling Jordan Love out for this game, and the fact that I do know some people up in Green Bay, and they did say that for the most part, if the Packers roll somebody out there, they are healthy enough to play. And so if they say Jordan Love is healthy enough to play, I think they're going to throw the ball all over this all over this Lions team. A Lions team that hasn't been that good against the pass this season, if you really look at it. And they've struggled against wide receivers this season, too. Matter of fact, they are actually the worst defense in terms of yards allowed to the wide receiver position, 210.7 yards per game. Like that is insane. Now, some of that stuff can be garbage time stuff, so I think that's why I really like Jordan Love today, because he doesn't have to be in the game to go over his passing yards. Like he can get garbage time yards and all that. But I think the Packers are in the game. I think going ahead and playing him the week before the bye says that hey, he's good enough to go, and we understand how much we need this game. We need to kick things off before the bye, right? And teams going into the bye against divisional opponents are really good. So I think the Packers are a sneaky team. I don't know if a lot of people, I haven't seen a lot of people really take too many sides on this game or not. I have to look up and see if the Lions are a public team here, but I do like the Packers in this spot to go out here and be able to handle things. I think the outdoor games, and this is the game on the schedule that was circled. This is the first outdoor game for the Packers this season. Shout out to producer Sal for confirming that. This is their first outdoor game, and it's rainy weather. Like if there was ever a time to fade the Lions, it's right now. So I like fading the Lions. I like taking the Packers here plus 2.5. I think the Packers are going to get it done. I think that Jordan Love's going to have a great game. I talked about the prop bet cheat sheet. It likes Jordan Love over 221.5 passing yards today. And hey, Matt likes fading Jordan Love on the rushing prop. He likes going under 4.5 on Jordan Love rushing yards. And I actually think that's a pretty good play because I think he's going to have a clean pocket to work with. Like, I think the Packers, since Aiden Hutchinson, not Packers, the Lions, since Aiden Hutchinson went down, are struggling, and they're actively going out there and trying to find another pass rusher. So I think that is an area of the field that they're slightly concerned about. So yeah, I really do think that this is a good spot for the Packers here just to get up against the Lions team that they beat last year, and they're able to beat them. So, but be careful for the Packers. Well, the Packers have a bye going in next week. They would have been a prime biting kneecap candidate next week, but they have a bye. All right. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and look at the Cardinals and the Bears. Cardinals laying 2 here at home. Let me see. What's the total? I missed it. There we go. Total sitting there at 40. Whoa. That's the wrong week. There we go. All right. Total sitting there at 44.5 here. Uh Heartbreaker loss for the Bears last week, Tyreek Stevenson. Very funny. I think I saw something. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but I think they said that they ended up not starting him this week or something like that. I don't know, but very heavy situation. I think a lot of people are looking towards the bounce back there with the Bears, but I don't know. I I'm starting to buy in. I think that the Cardinals played a really good defense against the Chargers, and they were able to get a win. I think that that was a really gutsy win to come back on the road all the way in the Eastern time zone and be able to get that win against the Dolphins. But I am I'm really kind of buying into Kyler Murray and this offense of the Cardinals just figuring it out and able to scoring points on this good. I know they're good, but this is a good Bears defense, I think the Cardinals are able to score points. Not one of the plays that I feel best about. Clearly, you can see as I forgot to even cover the game. But yeah, I think I slightly like the Cardinals this week. I think the better play is the under. I do like the Cardinals better defensively over the last couple of weeks. And I think that they played really, really well in that second half defensively against the Dolphins. And I do like that Bears defense. So under would probably be my better play. But yeah, not too heavy on the Cardinals and the Bears game this week, but I do like the under in the game. All right. Let's see, about to wrap up here soon. Let's go to another game that I don't really have that good of feelings on, and it's the Los Angeles Rams on the road going to play the Seattle Seahawks. Rams laying 1.5 here, 48.5 is the total. You have another game where it's a divisional game, and the Seahawks are going into the bye, so that 67, 41, and 2 ATS trend since 2015 applies to the Seahawks as well. But I just really have a hard time fading the Rams when they have their full assortment of staff. Puka Nakua is playing in this game. You're going to have Cooper Cup in this game. You're going to have Kyron Williams going up against this Seahawks team that struggles against running the football. Like, I just think that when Matthew Stafford has all his weapons, this is a different Rams team. So uh, I say Rams. Rams lay the 1.5. I know the trend goes to Seahawks, but I think this is a spot for the Rams. But I'm not betting this one. This one I haven't really gotten a good feel for. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, though, I do have a good feel in this game because the Indianapolis Colts are catching 5.5 on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. 46.5 is the total. This team is behind Joe Flacco. Like, they are 100% behind Joe Flacco. They understand that Joe Flacco gives them the best chance to make the playoffs. And if they look around, you look around at the AFC, you look around in the division, and you look at the Texans, especially with that loss on Thursday night, and you're like, man, we have a really good chance. Like, we're not out of it. And if we can put together a good final run of games, we can 100% go win this division or potentially go to the playoffs. Like, so we've seen Joe Flacco do this before. We've seen him do this last year. This is when Joe Flacco just kind of takes games over. And luckily, he's going up against a Minnesota Vikings defense that isn't that good. Like, they're really not that good against the pass. In fact, in terms of quarterback passing yards, the Vikings are the second worst defense, giving up 284.4 passing yards per game. I think Joe Flacco is going to come out here and have an amazing game in this game. In fact, looking at Joe Flacco's passing yards, which I got at 235.5, he's been over in 7 of his last 10 games. The only games that he missed in those 3 games that he missed this prop was the one game he came in relief against a good Steelers defense, the game against the Titans, who are another really good defense, and then when he came in against the Texans because Anthony Richardson got tired and needed to come out for a play. Those are the only 3 times he has not gotten over this prop. Like, I think this is a very, very good prop. I think they're going to be able to throw over this defense. I think this Vikings team, where they got out hot defensively in the start of the season, they still struggled letting quarterbacks go up and down the field on them. They just were able to get turnovers and able to force the ball out of their hands. So I really, really do like Joe Flacco to go over his passing yards. I think you can ladder that up to 300. He has a 300-yard passing game this season. Like, and also, if you look at this line, the Vikings have given up this line in every single game this season except against, well, the person they didn't give up this line against. It was Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, but they've given up the line in every other game this season. So I like Joe Flacco to go over. I think the Colts are a live dog tonight. I think you need to take the Colts plus the points, take them on the money line. I think that Joe Flacco is going to keep them in the game. Even if this Colts defense is bad and they do give up points to the Sam Darnold and the Vikings here, I think that they are still going to be able to put up points with Joe Flacco. Like, this offense is completely behind them. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that the Colts are going to be able to get it done. Colts going to be able to get the win. There we go. All right. That's it for me. That's everything. Let's go ahead and run through. Hold up. No, 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 no. Let me give you that touchdown parlay here. 69-1 touchdown parlay is going to be Taysom Hill. I told you at the start of the show, I love Taysom Hill. I do love Courtland Sutton as well. And you got to play the Patriots defense. That Titans team has just been bad, man. If that comes through, that's going to be 69-1 running through my plays for the rest of the slate. We have Chargers laying 1.5 here. Broncos plus 9.5. I don't have the Colts plus 5.5 up there, but I do really, really, really like that Colts play. And my player props, we have Taysom Hill over 25.5 rushing yards, Jalen Hurts over 210 passing yards, Devon Achane over 33.5 receiving yards. We have Joe Flacco over 235.5 passing yards. Courtland Sutton to get into the end zone, and Courtland Sutton over 48.5 receiving yards. Heading over to Matt's plays. Shout out to Matt's plays here. We have the Broncos plus 9.5 here. Patriots plus 3.5 on the road. Commanders and Giants under 44. And we have that teaser. Bills tease them down to a pick. Eagles laying 1.5. Put them into a teaser. And then we have A.J. Brown over 81.5 receiving yards. Jameis Winston under 244.5 passing yards. Josh Downs, I didn't even get to talk about that. Josh Downs under 64.5 receiving yards, and Jordan Love under 4.5 rush yards. And we got the do it for Matt parlay. Come on, Patriots, do it for Matt. Patriots on the money line game to go under 38, and Hunter Henry finds himself in the end zone again. All right. With that, I appreciate all of you for rocking with me. Make sure you drop a like into the stream before you get up out of here. Like, comment on the stream, all of that. Keep supporting everything we have going on at Betting Pros. Check me out on Fast Break Bets. And with that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the live stream. I'm just going to end it like this. We are out of here.